Hi there, and welcome to the Melody Music Studios interview series, where we get to know our teachers a little bit better. I'm Ashley. Today I have with me Michael. Michael, thanks so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
My first question is, can you tell us what instruments or voice types you typically work with?
I am a flutist, and I teach flute, piccolo, alto, flute. I can teach recorder also. I've done that.
What age level or ages or levels of experience do you typically teach?
Anyone from a complete beginner. I've worked with as young as 6 adults, retired people who are picking up the instrument for the first time, or have a flute in the closet from when they were in junior high school. Really, I'll work with anybody at whatever level they're at, and just see what the next step is in their progress.
Where do you teach out of? Like what state and what city or what county do you teach from?
So technically I'm in New York County, but most people call this Manhattan.
My first question for you is, do you come from a musical family?
I do. My mother had 3 careers, actually. Her first career was as a concert pianist and harpsichordist.
Wow.
My uncle, well-known composer. My father's cousin is an amateur musician who would sit at the piano and do classic-style improvisations.
What person or event caused you to want to go into music?
I grew up in a household in which music was always on the radio, and if it wasn't on the radio, it was playing, my father's car radio, or it was on the phonograph. It's always been part of my life. The point at which I decided to give being a professional musician a go was when I was in 8th grade, and I was accepted after auditioning for the High School of Performing Arts in New York City. If you want to make it a career, I think you really have to feel a need to do it. Music is part of almost everyone's life, and studying an instrument, getting to play with more of the tone that you want to hear from your instrument is something that can enrich anybody's life. But to be a professional musician is a challenging field to work in, so you really have to feel impelled to do it.
What advice would you give to someone, a student of any age or level, who maybe is struggling with practicing? What advice would you give someone to help with that?
It happens to professionals sometimes. Whatever time you have, use it well. So I'll tell a student, could you possibly spend 15 minutes a day? Usually they can, and then I'll say, okay, in the 15 minutes, I want you to pick up your instrument. I want you to play a low tone and focus in on the sound you're getting and the direction you're going to get that sound. So there are ways to do this. If you're working on a piece, you don't have much time to work on it, pick a section that's particularly difficult, set the metronome at a low speed, play through that difficult spot at the slow speed, gradually raise the tempo on the metronome. The point is the same. You're gradually ratcheting it up, and you do what you can do in the 15 minutes. Write down the last, the fastest tempo that you were able to play completely comfortably with no mistakes. There are always things you can do, even if it's 10 minutes. Play 10 minutes of long tones, play a couple of staccato notes, and you certainly won't backslide if you're able to practice smart in a short amount of time every day. And even if you miss one day somewhere along the line, you're not going to do everything. So, there's another part to the answer too, which is that if the student is having trouble practicing, there may be an issue with how they're practicing. So I'll ask the student next lesson to show me how they're practicing, and I may notice that there's some kind of postural issue, there's some kind of issue with how they're breathing, You don't want to practice a lot and practice wrong and end up hurting yourself.
Great response there. Michael, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. We are going to sign off for today.
It was fun talking to you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.